Hey everyone, this is Elias from RevMatch Media, and today for the Project Miata The Answer, we're gonna be installing some tunes. Yeah, let's get started. Now, to me, music is very important to have in a car. Doing all the reviews, that's one of the biggest criticisms that I have for some of these vehicles. So the Miata needed some help. It does have an aftermarket Pioneer system. It's really old. It's really not working, basically. So it does have a USB with Apple CarPlay, but it does have not the CarPlay, just the regular iPod function via the USB. But again, I'm having to run a USB. I'm having to have, my phone really kind of in an area where there's really no space. The little cubby doesn't really work because it's a single DIN. So for me, and the USB doesn't work. Here and there, it's always a nightmare. I have to turn off the phone. I can't do Bluetooth. It just doesn't pick it up. My phone doesn't, neither does other devices I've tried. It's just a mess. It needs to be replaced. So it's been a while since I bought a radio and did a lot of research. I love Pioneer. I've always had Pioneer systems in my previous cars. And this is not going to be any exception. So we're definitely going to go with this one. So this is the DMH-W2770NEX. So a couple of things with this one. It is a screen. I wanted a screen. I like screens. Like I said, sometimes these entertainment systems or infotainment systems on these radios, I like I like having the CarPlay function. But I also like the wireless CarPlay function, which is what this has, which gets denoted by the W in front of the model number kind of thing. So this does have wireless Apple CarPlay because I plan, hopefully this becomes successful, but in the armrest, I want to have like a wireless charger. So setting up a wireless charger, I did kind of see a slim one that would be cool to have, which is definitely going to be a project. I have to do a little bit more research, but overall I do like this because again, it has a wireless system, Apple CarPlay, and we do have a good amount of, it has 13 bands of EQ, so it does output 50 watt per 4 channels, and it does have 3 RCA outs. Because we're probably it basically gives me room for flexibility. And the other thing that this has that I really like, so you have it for backup camera ready, so I can, if I decide to go that route and not be terrified of, or lazy really, of having to run a wire all the way back. And the flexibility of the 3 amps connection or the RCA connections is, first, I want to try out the speakers, the door speakers, see how those are sounding right now. If not, upgrade to 6x8s, which fit in there. Right now, I believe it's 6.5 that comes with factory. So I don't have the Bose system. So I don't have to deal with an amp, bypassing the amp, bypassing the speaker, whatever the headache is with the Bose system on these Miatas. But I am gonna go ahead and put those 6x8s if those don't sound good, even with a little bit more juice from this radio. And then the other thing I'm gonna do is, if that doesn't give me enough juice for what I want, probably buy a small amp, 2-channel amp, power those door speakers, and because I like my tunes, but I know it's a small car. That is the big thing. Because I've had a Golf and a previous Chevy Nova, which was more like a Toyota Corolla, but they were a little bit bigger, so needed bigger speakers and that kind of thing. So gonna see how that works. If not, we can probably go full system in this. I know. I don't even know what I want to do with this, but I know I want to enjoy it. And I feel like I need to have some tunes to enjoy just the experience, to add more to the experience. Well, let's go ahead. And we got this guy. So we are going from the single DIN to the double DIN. So I'm no longer gonna have that little cubby on there. And so have some tools. And let's get started getting this guy wired up. So we're going to take out all the things from the box, and there's a lot of cables to this. Speaking about a lot of cables, yeah, we have the wire harness that I picked up from Amazon. Now, before I bought it though, I did a lot of research and I had a lot of confusion as to which harness I needed to buy. Basically, for some reason, 2001 seems to be a switch over to a different harness or different connector in the radio. There's also the fact that, you know, is it a Bose system? Is it a not a Bose system? So the best thing I did was literally take my stereo out, take a look at the harness connector, and basically compared it with whatever was available on Amazon. Now, it wasn't just Amazon, because Crutchfield, which is typically really good at telling you what you need, was kind of tough and was getting the same result of, yeah, you know, get this one or this one, but this is the cutoff year. It was just kind of confusing as to why there's so many options. Okay, so we completed our connections. A couple of things about soldering. If it's not something you do, yeah, the first one was really bad, just because it's been a while since I've had to solder something, but got into the groove, and then literally as soon as I basically was done, I was just nailing them in a matter of literally seconds, less than a minute. One thing that really helped out is this solder. So it's a 6040 solder wire, and like I said, I'll put the link in the description because this is so easy to work with. You know, that first one, I was able to simply just, you know, clean it up very easily. So I was definitely surprised by this, loving this. So we just have the shrink that we're gonna go ahead and use our heat gun with. I love this heat gun because of this. Literally, that's pretty much 90% of why I like this. And it's hot, obviously, or can be hot, but I like it because it stands and it's fairly sturdy. You know, I'm hitting, really moving the cable or the wire, and yeah, it's sturdy on there. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. We won't bore you with the details of that, but yeah, basically get these shrink wrap. And the one thing I'm gonna have to do some research on, so I may have to do this in another video, but there is a reverse camera option with this. There's also a video playing function on this. So I do have a parking brake on the radio side of the loom, but I don't have it on the car side of this situation. So yeah, I'm gonna have to see how this wires in. If you know, let me know in the comments. Make sure that I did it right. I'll probably have to check my work, so to speak. But yeah, and then I have the USB connection because this is a USB in the back, so I have to run that through the center console, like I said, to that wireless charger that hopefully we'll be able to configure. But yeah, let's go ahead and get these guys wrapped up.
A few moments later.
Okay, so another day. I did a ton of research regarding my radio, and again, with the fact that, yeah, we have new things that I haven't had before. Backup cameras, GPS built in to this, and what's the other thing? Oh yeah, we have video, so yeah, there's safety things we have to take into consideration. Yeah, it's been a while since I've installed the head unit, like I said, but yeah, we got this guy installed. So starting with the USB, this we're probably not going to put on right now to run it through the center, because that's going to be probably another video where I do the wireless connection, so I won't bombard or fill my dashboard behind the radio area. One thing is, and same thing goes with the rear view camera, if I actually decide to go with a rear view camera, I'll go ahead and install this. What kind of sucks is that, so they have like these little like connectors, and this is literally all I need for the backup camera, but because it's kind of stuck to this guy, I have to have the mute button and the steering wheel control. So if your car has steering wheel controls, so it's more bulk to that back, which kind of sucked. I probably, looks like I can probably chop those off, but we don't want to hack too many things on that. And then same goes for the, oh, well, yeah, the stereo, the RCAs for amps and subwoofers, that situation. Another big bulky thing, so I'm gonna see what's gonna fit in there and what's not gonna fit in there. The microphone, yeah, I'm probably gonna have, I gotta see where I wanna put this guy. And then we have the XM, which we're not gonna do. We're just gonna put that in the box. Because if I decide to get an XM subscription, I'll just do it through my phone and run it that way. The other thing, the GPS. The GPS module is massive. So I don't know if I want to, I definitely don't want to run this. So I'm not going to be using the built-in GPS. I'll just use my phone. I'll just use my Apple Maps or Google Maps or Waze, whatever the case is. Using it on the phone is going to be better than having to kind of run that, because I was reading, can't be obstructed, has to be in clear view of the outside satellite situation. So yeah. And then we have the situation with the parking brake situation. I don't know, I believe it's limited unless your parking brake is on. So what's weird is the manual shows a little switch, but there's no switch. I checked my box. I know it's not missing because I went on Crutchfield and I saw all the contents in this box kind of thing, and there wasn't a single switch to this. Let's take out the old one and put this new guy in. Okay, so here is the old radio. As you can see, it's seen better days. It really has. And yeah, like I said, that USB port doesn't work well if it whenever it decides to even work. And yeah, it's just really dated. And yeah, I mean, I'll literally just go ahead and turn that, and yeah. Oh, I don't even know what is on. Let me close this door. But yeah, even if I plug in my brand new USB, like I've plugged in brand new USB to this, and of course it's probably gonna say it works and embarrass me. But let's see, source, USB iPod, and of course, yeah, it decided to work right now. But I promise in a little bit, this thing goes crazy. It can't do anything. And I'm tired of it. I want something better. I can't, you know, if I want to go out somewhere with this and I don't know the area or don't know how to get there, I want to be able to use that Apple Maps. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this guy out. Okay, so we got the stereo out. It was a bit of a pain because I somehow seem to have misplaced my Pioneer keys, which basically is what you need to push that guy in, that little tab right dead center right there, in order to not have it locked to the cage that's in there. Yeah, well, it is a pain in the butt, so I had to use tweezers to move my way in there. As you guys can see, I did know there was another harness in here and all the good stuff, but I figured, well, actually, I need to do a new harness anyways. So I was looking at, because of my radio's different, so I figured, let's just get a new one of these, which I did, which is what you guys saw me working on, because, yeah, this looks like a mess. It really does look like a mess. But yeah, let's go ahead and get our guy hooked up. We're going to have to, actually, we're not going to do the cage right now. We're just going to get it hooked up, see how things behave, and we'll go from there. Well, here you have it. If your harness on your car looks like this, you're going to want to go with the Metra Electronics 70-7903 for your wiring harness. If it looks like something else, do some research, compare the pictures, the connectors, and yeah, good luck. Well, I'd like to say we have power. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Excited. Ooh, and we have sound, unless that came from, I think that came from the speakers themselves. Sounds like it. Yep, that is coming from the speakers. So beep tone, yeah. We'll probably turn that off because yeah, it is getting a little annoying with that. So okay, so we'll put the volume down all the way for obvious YouTube copyright situations. Perfect. Yeah, let's I guess start the phone connectivity settings. Okay. Learning this, so okay, I guess perfect. USB connection or Bluetooth, yes. So we are going to then go into the settings of my phone and get ready to see a bunch of Apple CarPlay cars from all the cars I review. So Bluetooth, yeah, this is literally all the cars that I need to come in here and remove. Okay, perfect. So we see the unit. Looks like it is connecting, pair, and then yes to this. Allow. Yes, Apple CarPlay, connecting phone, and use CarPlay. Okay, I just got a message that says I need to use the antenna for Apple Wireless CarPlay. So that is not what I really wanted to see because I was trying to avoid having to do an antenna. So let me go ahead and see if this works. So Apple CarPlay. Okay, so we will connect. Oh, okay. So yeah, looks like I need to actually connect that antenna because we are getting this message. Please attach the GPS antenna in order to use Apple CarPlay over wireless. Cool. Well, let's go ahead and do that then. Yeah, and this is pretty much why you test everything before you decide to shove everything in there. So we'll do that, connecting iPhone, and there we go. Yeah, we have wireless Apple CarPlay. No wire. Yep, no wire down there. So, yep, that is awesome. Now, it doesn't look like I need, obviously for my privacy, I'm going to mask this, but looks like, yeah, I don't know if I need because the antenna's right there, and they said keep it in a clear spot, but it's kind of in there. I mean, I can probably, who knows? We'll have to test things out to see how that works. But let's go back to music, and yeah, everything seems fine. I'll go ahead and test out the speakers. Here I was just going to take out the old cage. I'm not going to reuse the stereo. It's not worth it. So just taking out the old cage. Now, one thing I did notice till later on is that trim that I'm pulling there. Yeah, careful not to pull it any further than I really did because there's actually screws at the bottom. So yeah, just be very, very careful. And you're having to take out trim pieces to do that. So yeah, probably could have broken something myself, but thankfully I didn't pull too much on it. Well, there you have it, guys. Couple of things. Spend the money and get these things. I will put them in the link. It's basically trim tools, so you're able to really pry things and not break them. Yeah, you definitely want these. You don't want to use screwdrivers. Don't use screwdrivers. That's what these are for. It was a couple of bucks. Honestly, probably, yeah, probably the best investment I've made in this project so far. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this tool. Yeah, this really saved me. So, yeah, it's in there and it looks nice. I love it's not 100% flush. The trim is a little bit kind of like not, yeah, it took me a bit to kind of screw the safety things on the side, but other than that, oh, and the antenna is in there. The GPS antenna is in there, so I don't know how effective it's going to be. With the GPS, I'll probably go for a drive right now and just kind of assess how things are. But I can tell you the door speakers, I think, are good enough for now. I do have to run that USB, which I didn't quite install or put in there, but I know that the GPS, there's a lot of space back here, so that's the good thing. So yeah, the GPS antenna is kind of tucked in there. Like I said, hopefully it runs. If it doesn't, yeah, we'll see. If it does, then that's awesome. Then the next thing is USB, so that we could run USB power from there to here. And then, yeah, I still have some coins. And then the goal, if I can open it, is to have that little round charger and maybe the cable coming out through here. So I will have to kind of drill a hole somewhere, and I'm probably going to want like a 3D printed kind of little platform, so then I can just kind of put that in there. The cable probably run underneath it, and that's it. Yeah, that's kind of the goal. So if you guys do 3D printing, hit me up. I'd love to collaborate with you guys. And yeah, it'd be a cool design to kind of have. But overall, I am super happy with the unit. It looks really clear. Well, that does it for the radio adventure. There is a lot to this. It's not like the olden days where it's literally just the harness, the cage, so to speak, and you're done. So there's definitely a lot more to getting, you know, especially with the Apple CarPlay and the GPS, built-in GPS. Yeah, it's a lot. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Project Miata The Answer, because when you want to have some tunes, the Miata is definitely the answer to enjoy them in. See ya.